I am Lisa.
And I am Eric. Hey everyone, we're here to make English simple and fun for you.
Today we'll be talking about some words you hear a lot.
That's right, Lisa. So sit tight, relax, and let's dive into our words together.
Okay, Eric, what are the words today?
The first word today is convenient. Then we will continue with to be willing to and to claim. Then time flies. And the final one is get on someone's nerves.
Okay, Eric, the first word is convenient. Can you start with it?
Convenient means something that is easy to use or access and saves you time or effort.
That's right, Eric. When something is convenient, it's helpful and makes your life easier. For example, living near the grocery store is very convenient because I can walk there quickly.
Here's another example. I love online shopping because it's so convenient. I can buy what I need without leaving my house.
Great examples, Eric. It's important to note that convenient is an adjective, so it describes a noun like a place, thing, or action.
Thanks for clarifying that, Lisa. Now, let's have a sample dialogue to show how we can use convenient in a conversation.
Hey, Mary, I heard there's a new coffee shop next to our office building.
Really? That's so convenient. Now, we can grab a quick coffee before work without going out of our way.
Definitely, and I heard they have a mobile app for ordering, which makes it even more convenient.
That's great! I love it when businesses make things convenient for their customers.
That's a perfect example of how convenient can be used to describe something that makes our lives easier and saves us time.
Absolutely. Convenience is so important in today's fast-paced world. Hey Lisa, what do you find really convenient in your daily life?
For me, my apartment has a washer and dryer, so I don't have to go to the laundromat when I need to do laundry. It is very convenient.
I totally agree. That's a game changer. For me, it's having a smartphone. It's convenient to have so many tools and information right at my fingertips.
Oh, definitely. Smartphones have made so many things more convenient, like navigation, communication, and even banking.
It's amazing how much convenience technology has brought into our lives. It's important to appreciate those things that make our days easier.
Well said, Eric. That's all for the word convenient. I hope our listeners have understood what it means and how to use it. Let's move on to our next word. Could you explain it, Eric?
The next word is to be willing to.
To be willing to?
To be willing to. It's a phrase that means to be ready or prepared to do something. It often shows that you're agreeable or open to helping out or taking on a task.
That's a good description, Eric. For instance, if you say, I am willing to help you move this weekend, it means that you're ready and happy to help you move.
Right. Another example is, she was willing to stay late to finish the project, meaning she agreed to stay longer at work to finish the project.
Perfect examples, Eric. Now, let's use to be willing to in a sample dialogue to see how it is used in conversation.
Our school is looking for volunteers for the community cleanup day. Are you interested, Maya?
Sure, I'd be willing to help out. What do we need to do?
We just need to pick up litter, plant some trees, and clean the park.
It sounds good. I'm willing to do everything needed to make our community cleaner.
This dialogue nicely shows how willing a person can be to help his community.
Exactly, Lisa. It is great to see people ready to support open and useful activities. Have you ever been in a situation where you had to be willing to do something unexpected, Lisa?
Yes, once at work, our team looked for someone to present our project to the clients, and I was nervous. But I was willing to make the presentation.
That's courageous of you, Lisa. I had a similar experience. At the last minute, a friend of mine suddenly needed someone to watch their pet while they were away. I was willing to help because I knew how important their pet was to them.
It's all about being ready to help or take on challenges, isn't it, Eric?
Yes, Lisa. So, for our listeners, remember that to be willing to means being ready to do something and wanting to do it.
Well said, Eric. We hope we've made our listeners more willing to learn and teach new words in English. So, let's move on to the next word.
The next word is to claim.
To claim.
To claim. It means to say that something is true, or that something belongs to you, even if it may not be certain.
That's right, Eric. When you claim something, you are saying that it is true, but it may not be true. For example, he claims to have met the president, but I don't believe him.
Here's another example. I claimed the last piece of cake because I saw it first.
Good examples, Eric. It's important to note that to claim is often followed by a noun, or a clause that describes what is claimed.
Thanks for pointing that out, Lisa. Now, let's have a sample dialogue to show how we can use to claim in a conversation.
Hi, I'm here to claim my lost backpack.
Can you describe the backpack and tell me what was inside?
It's a blue backpack with a red stripe. I claim that there was a laptop and a notebook inside.
Okay, let me check our records. Yes, we have a backpack matching that description. Please sign here to claim it.
That's a great example. The meaning of to claim in this dialogue is about ownership. This is the other meaning of claim.
Definitely, it's a useful word in many situations. Hey Lisa, have you ever had to claim something that was lost?
Yes, I have. Once, I lost my phone at a restaurant and had to go back to claim it. Luckily, someone had turned it into the manager.
Oh, really? I can imagine how stressful it must be to lose something important like a phone.
It was definitely a stressful experience, but I'm glad I was able to claim it and then get it in the end.
It's always a good idea to keep an eye on your belongings and to know how to claim them if you lose them.
Absolutely. And it's also important to be honest when claiming something and not to claim things that don't belong to you.
That's a great point, Lisa. Honesty is always the best policy.
Well said, Eric. That's all for the word to claim. Let's explain the next word.
The next word is time flies.
Time flies.
Time flies. We use this expression to mean that time passes very quickly, especially when you're busy or having fun. It's not a literal phrase, but it's a very popular way to express how we feel about time when it seems to go by fast. For example, you might say, "Time flies when I play video games."
And another example is, "Can you believe it's already April? Time really flies."
Those are great examples. Now let's look at a sample dialogue. Imagine two friends, Mia and Leo, who are catching up at a coffee shop.
Leo, isn't it crazy how fast our college years went by?
I know, Mia. Time flies. It feels like just yesterday we started college.
Seriously. And now here we are, getting ready to graduate. Time flies by without us realizing it.
Yeah, we've got to make the most of it while we can.
This dialogue shows how the phrase time flies can be used to express surprise or nostalgia about how quickly time passes.
It really captures that feeling well. Eric, do you ever find yourself saying, "Time flies"?
All the time, especially when I'm busy with work or when I realize how quickly the seasons change.
It's a common feeling for sure. For our listeners, think about the last time you thought, "Time flies." What were you doing?
This is a very useful idiom for moments or situations when you don't realize how quickly time is passing. Okay, that's all for the explanation of the phrase time flies. Try using it when you're chatting about how quickly things move in your life.
We hope you found this idiom helpful. Okay, what is the last word, Eric?
The last word is get on someone's nerves.
Get on someone's nerves.
Get on someone's nerves. It's an idiom that means to annoy or irritate someone, usually by doing something repeatedly.
When you get on someone's nerves, you are bothering them and making them feel frustrated or angry. For example, my little brother always gets on my nerves when he comes into my room without knocking.
Here's another example. The noise of the building work outside all the time is really getting on my nerves.
Good examples, Eric. It's important to note that get on someone's nerves is an idiomatic expression, so it doesn't literally mean that you are physically on someone's nerves.
Thanks for clarifying that, Lisa. Now, let's have a sample dialogue to show how we can use get on someone's nerves in a conversation.
Hey Mary, can you please stop tapping your pen on the desk? It's getting on my nerves.
Oh, I'm sorry, John. I didn't realize I was doing it. I'll try to stop.
Thanks. The tapping noise without stopping really gets on my nerves and makes it hard for me to concentrate.
I understand. I'll be more mindful of it in the future.
That's a great example of how get on someone's nerves can be used to express annoyance or frustration with someone's behavior.
Definitely. It's a common phrase in everyday conversations. Hey Lisa, what gets on your nerves? Have you ever had something that really got on your nerves but turned out to be funny later?
Oh, yes. Once, my neighbor's dog would not stop barking early in the morning. It really got on my nerves at first. But later, we found out he was barking at a balloon that kept moving with the wind. We all had a laugh about it later.
That's a funny story, Lisa. It shows how sometimes what annoys us can also bring us joy later.
True. What about you, Eric?
When people interrupt me when I talk, that really gets on my nerves.
Yes, that's so frustrating. It's important to be respectful and let others finish speaking before jumping in.
Absolutely. It's all about being considerate of others and their feelings.
That's so true, Eric. Well, that's all for the idiom get on someone's nerves and our podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to Simply Explained English. We hope you found today's episode informative and enjoyable.
Remember to join us next time as we continue to simplify and explain more English phrases and words.
Until then, keep practicing your English and stay curious. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. The podcast where we make English easy and fun. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Eric. In each episode, we simplify English words and phrases and give examples to help you understand.
So whether you're learning English for the first time or just need a quick refresher, we've got you covered.
Okay, let's dive into the world of English, Simply Explained.
Okay, Eric, what are the words today?
The first word today is miserable. Then we will continue with rewarding and to be about to do something. Then waste of time, money, etc. And the final one is over the moon.
Wow, there are many idioms and useful words, Eric.
Yes, Lisa, our viewers want us to teach more idioms and phrases. So that's why we decided to explain more phrases in today's podcast.
Great. Okay, let's start with the first word, Eric.
The first word is miserable.
Miserable.
Miserable. It's an adjective that means very unhappy or uncomfortable. It often comes with a strong emotional feeling, much stronger than just being sad.
That's right. It's often used to describe how someone feels. For example, he felt miserable after losing his job. Or in another case, the rainy weather made the camping trip miserable.
Yes, and another example is, she was miserable because it rained all during her vacation.
Good examples, Eric. Let's put miserable in a small dialogue. Imagine two friends talking at school.
Hi, Sarah. You look a bit down today. What's wrong?
Oh, hi, Tom. I'm just feeling miserable because I forgot to study for our math test.
That's tough. I felt miserable too when I forgot my presentation last week. Would you like to study together at lunch?
Yes, that would be great. Thanks, Tom.
In the dialogue, Sarah uses miserable to express her unhappiness about forgetting to study. Tom also uses it to share a similar experience, which shows empathy.
That's a good point, Lisa. Talking about our feelings, even miserable ones, can sometimes make us feel a bit better. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's because sharing our problems helps us feel less alone. It's always good to talk to a friend when you're feeling miserable.
Absolutely, Lisa. Friends can really help lift our moods. What do you usually do when you feel miserable?
I usually listen to music or read a book. It helps me relax and forget my troubles for a while. What about you, Eric?
I like to go for a walk. Fresh air and a little exercise can be really good when I'm feeling down.
Those are both great ways to deal with feeling miserable. Remember, it's okay to feel down sometimes, but talking about it and finding small ways to feel better can really help.
That's all for miserable. Thanks for such an engaging discussion, Lisa. Let's move on to our next word.
Okay, what's the next word, Eric?
The next word is rewarding.
Rewarding.
Rewarding. Rewarding means giving you a good feeling because you have done something good or helpful.
Can you give us some example sentences, Eric?
Sure. Volunteering at the animal shelter is very rewarding. Or, after working hard, it's rewarding to see the positive results.
Great examples. It's also important to note that the word rewarding can stand alone, as in, it was rewarding. Or with prepositions like for when talking about the person who benefits. For example, it was rewarding for her to see the progress her students made. Now let's have a sample dialogue to show how to use rewarding in conversation.
Hey Sarah, how was your weekend?
It was great, John. I spent my Saturday volunteering at the local community center.
That sounds rewarding. What did you do there?
I helped organize a fundraiser for a children's education program. It was a lot of work, but seeing the smiles on the kids' faces made it so rewarding.
That's a lovely example of how rewarding it can be to help others.
Definitely. It's amazing how doing something good for others can make you feel good, too.
Hey, Eric, have you ever had a rewarding experience like Sarah's?
Yes, I have. Last year, I helped my neighbor while he was repairing his fence. It took a whole day, but to see how happy he was with the result was really rewarding.
That's wonderful. It's the little things that can make a big difference in someone's life.
Absolutely. And it doesn't always have to be a big thing. Even small acts of kindness can be rewarding.
I couldn't agree more. It's important to remember that we can all do something rewarding, no matter how small it may seem.
Well said, Lisa. That's all for today's word, rewarding. Let's move on to our next word. The next word is to be about to do something.
To be about to do something.
To be about to do something. This phrase is used when you're going to do something very soon, almost immediately.
That's right, Eric. It shows that something is going to happen in the very near future. Here's how you can use it. I am about to start cooking. This means I haven't started cooking yet, but I will start cooking in a few minutes.
Another example could be, she is about to leave the house. This means she hasn't left the house yet, but she will leave in a few minutes or very soon.
Nice explanations, Eric. It's also important to know. After this phrase, we use to and then a verb in the infinitive form, like to be about to start or to be about to leave.
Now let's see it in a dialogue. Imagine two friends at school during lunch break.
I am about to go to the library to study for our math test. What are you about to do?
I was about to ask you if you want company. I need to study too.
That would be great, Sarah. We can quiz each other.
Perfect. I'll grab my books. Let's meet there in 5 minutes.
That was a useful dialogue. They used to be about to twice, to show they were going to do something soon.
Yes, and it's clear how immediately their actions will happen. Now, Lisa, have you ever been about to do something but then changed your mind?
Oh, all the time. Just yesterday, I was about to watch a movie. But then, I decided to call my friend instead. What about you, Eric?
Well, I was about to go for a run this morning, but it started raining. So, I stayed home and did some yoga instead.
It sounds like to be about to do something can change quickly according to the situation.
Absolutely, Lisa. It's a handy phrase for discussing the near future. Remember, everyone, you can use this to talk about your plans that will happen very soon.
Well said, Eric. That's all for today's word, to be about to do something. Let's move on to our next word.
The next word is actually a noun. It is a waste of time, money, effort, etc.
Oh, that's a useful phrase. It means that something is not worth the time, money, effort you're spending because you will not get a good result in the end, right?
Yes, exactly. If you don't think the results are worth the time and money you put into it, you would say it is a waste. This term is often used after of, with different nouns like time, money, energy, or effort.
I can start with an example sentence. Spending hours on social media every day can be a waste of time.
And I'll add another. Buying cheap chargers for your phone often turns out to be a waste of money because you have to replace them so often.
Let's move to an example dialogue. Imagine two friends, Leo and Mia, discussing their weekend plans.
I'm thinking about driving to the big sale at the mall this weekend.
That sounds fun, but last time, it was so crowded. And the discounts weren't that good. It might be a waste of time.
You're right. I spent hours there and barely found anything interesting. With all the gas I'd use, it might also be a waste of money.
Why don't we go hiking instead? We can enjoy the outdoors without wasting time or money.
That dialogue shows that it's possible to make better choices when you realize something is a waste of time. Eric, have you ever done something you felt was a waste of time?
Yeah, once. I tried to fix my sink by myself to save money. It ended up being a waste of effort because I had to call a plumber anyway. What about you, Lisa?
I have a similar story. I bought a cheap coffee maker to save money, but it broke after a month. It was definitely a waste of money.
It shows how important it is to think about how we use our opportunities. To our listeners, try to make choices that you will not later think of as a waste of time, money, or effort.
Right. Always consider whether the result is worth the effort. Okay, that's it for a waste of something. We hope you find it useful in making better decisions.
Thank you for your tip, Lisa. Let's move on to our last word. The last word is over the moon.
Over the moon.
Over the moon.
Oh, that's a fun expression. It means to be very happy or delighted about something.
Right. When someone is over the moon, they're extremely pleased or excited. There's no specific grammar rule, but you often use it to talk about someone's feelings. It's like saying, someone is jumping high in happiness as if they could jump over the moon.
Good explanation, Eric. Let's make 2 sentences. The first one is, when I heard I passed my English exam, I was over the moon.
And I'll add, my sister was over the moon when she got the job she wanted.
Now, let's have an example dialogue. Imagine a conversation between 2 friends, Max and Lily, at school.
Did you hear about the science competition results?
No, not yet. Did we win?
Yes, our project was the top pick. We won the first prize.
Wow, I'm over the moon. All our hard work paid off.
I know, right? I was so nervous before they announced it, but now, I'm just over the moon.
That dialogue nicely shows how to use over the moon in a conversation. Eric, have you ever been over the moon about something recently?
Oh, yes. I am over the moon when I see that our podcast has so many listeners and that they like it. It's exciting to know people enjoy what we do. What about you, Lisa?
When I received a book I'd been waiting for months to release, I was absolutely over the moon. Reading it made me so happy.
It's great how different things can make us feel over the moon. For our listeners, think about what makes you over the moon and share it with us.
Sharing your happiness can double it. All right, that's it for today's word, over the moon. We hope you find many reasons to feel this way.
Remember, learning English can also make you feel over the moon.
Well, that's all the time we have for today on Simply Explained English.
We hope you enjoyed learning with us and feel more confident using the words we discussed.
Don't forget to practice and share what you've learned with your friends.
Tune in next time for more words, more examples, and more simple explanations.
Until then, keep it simple and keep learning.
Goodbye, and see you soon.
Bye-bye.